What's up, everybody? Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. Just decided to make a quick little clip before we get started. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. The thing I wanted to talk about today was it's important to remember that people will treat you how you treat yourself. Like sometimes if you're in a relationship with somebody and they're disrespecting you, that, even though some people would call it victim blaming, is your fault, because if you weren't accepting that treatment, the person wouldn't be able to give it to you. You know, you'd put your foot down and be like, all right, I need you to be gone. And that's the way it would work out. And the same happens in business a lot of times. Like, I find myself falling into this trap every once in a while, and that's the reason I'm bringing it up. It's not so that I can point the finger at any one of you guys and be like, this is what you're doing wrong. I'm just gonna tell you guys real quick how I'm learning to navigate myself better, or navigate myself in business better. For a long time, my comedy has been done on a handshake agreement. That's the way a lot of things work out for me. And for the most part, it's worked out really well. But when you get to a certain point, it's time to start moving on to actually having contracts and agreements in writing. That way, everybody's clear on exactly what's going on. And for a long time, I was worried that if I pushed contracts on a lot of people, then they would start to be afraid of working with me. But if somebody's afraid of having a contract, then they're probably gonna fuck you over anyway, is the way I see it. Because otherwise, there's no reason not to have a contract. It's like everything's laid out, the amount of time that I'm supposed to do, the amount of money that I'm supposed to get, the date the event is supposed to happen, where the event is supposed to happen. I just had a situation like this happen for me. Well, a couple of situations like this happened for me. One of them, the guy went ahead and made it right. The other one, I'm still waiting on the person to go ahead and make it right. And it's just annoying at this point because people don't understand, and this isn't like a humble brag or anything like that. I work a lot. So I can always be booked somewhere. And what people don't get is, yeah, that's true. But then at the same time, if I wait too long, then everything's already booked up and I can't do it. Like this weekend, I was supposed to technically be booked. And this had been decided months ago. The guy had hit me up. I've known him for years and years and years. Since I first started, you know, or shortly after. So probably 13, 14 years now I've known this guy. Never did a show for him outside of maybe something small that I don't remember. But it's not like I've done shows for him. But I had never heard anything bad. And so I assumed when he hit me up, we were good to go. Then the venue had to change. I was fine with that. We've picked another date, or they picked another date, and it happened to work out for me. And then I confirmed the gig on May 10th. I went ahead and hit them up, and not confirmed it because we had confirmed it actually a month or two before. And I was just like, you know, just checking in to make sure that we're still all good for the week of the, you know, or the dates of the 13th, 14th, and 15th. And so, or actually it's the 14th, 15th, 16th, sorry. Today's the 13th and this is Thursday. So I had, you know, we had everything together and he said that everything was fine. And then we get to Tuesday. And I was just checking in to find out exactly where I needed to be. It was a different event. It was a private event. And a lot of times you don't really know where those are going to be because it's, you know, private event and it's a different kind of situation. So in a lot of cases, I've found that, you know, they let you know when you get a little bit closer. So I was fine with that. I wasn't tripping. Hit him up Tuesday just to see what was going on. Don't get a call back on Tuesday. So Wednesday, I call a couple times, message through Facebook, send a couple text messages, you know, all within reasonable amounts of time, because it's like, I hit you up Tuesday and I didn't hear anything back from you. So then I hit you up Wednesday to kind of see what's going on, and I'm not hearing anything back from you. And it's kind of like, okay, well, the gig's coming up, so let's go ahead and make sure all of this is in place. And then I don't end up hearing from them. And it gets like, okay, well, now this is just looking shady because you're not getting back to me and it's the week of the shows. And in the meantime, between May 10th and now, I've actually been offered other work and turned that work down because I was already booked at this particular event. So I go ahead and just am like, all right, well, I'll just wait and see what happens. So I get a call today from this person, and he actually says that unfortunately it fell through and that he's sorry. And it's like, yeah, I'm sorry is not good enough. You have to give me a cancellation fee. That's just the way that it works. You know, everybody knows that if you do something like that, you definitely have to pay a cancellation fee. And it's like, technically, I don't want half of the money or part of the money. Really, what I want is all of the money, because I was supposed to be working this weekend for you. I turned down other work to work for you. And we just had a handshake agreement, but at the same time, we did have an actual agreement. We had dates, we had an amount I was going to be paid, we had shows I was going to do. So it's not fair to all of a sudden turn it into a thing where, yeah, I'm just sorry. It's like, no, I'm sorry isn't good enough. You have to actually pay me for what it is I was supposed to be paid for. If you want to put on a show in a garage, I'm fine with that. I don't care. If you want me to earn my money, I don't mind earning my money. That was the original plan anyway, was that I was going to do these gigs, and earn my money. So it's not like I was trying to find a way out of it. I'm perfectly fine with performing anywhere. Like I said on my podcast, and I think I said it here on YouTube, there were 2 different shows I did last week where I performed for 2 people. I was still paid what I was supposed to be paid. They hadn't done the best job of promoting. One of them was last minute. The other one just, you know, a rough area to perform or to promote in, because it was close to LA, and LA is so saturated with entertainment that a lot of times people have trouble getting audiences to come out unless it's like a really big name. So I do learn from my mistakes. I am going to figure out how I'm going to get my money from this person, because that will happen. It just has to happen, you know, especially since this person plans to continue to book events. And I know so many people within comedy, and I wouldn't say anything to badmouth them, but I definitely would tell somebody the truth if they were like, what was your experience with this particular person? I'd definitely be like, oh yeah, this person left me with a hole in my schedule because they messed up. And all of this really could have been handled if they had just let me know as soon as they knew, because one of the gigs that I got offered, which would have paid half of the money that I was getting paid for this gig, that I got offered was 2 weeks ago. So if they had let me know 2 weeks ago, hey, this isn't going to go through. And I even told them on the phone, I was like, yeah, I find it hard to believe that this happened last minute. And he was like, oh, it didn't happen last minute. You're right, it didn't happen last minute. I've known, and I thought I was going to be able to fix it. And it's like, it's not fair to keep me waiting because you think you're going to be able to fix it. And then when you're not able to fix it, you try to act like, well, I'm just sorry, you know. It's like, I'm sorry is not good enough at that point. There are certain cases where I'm sorry is exactly what the doctor ordered, but in this case, it's not. And I also learned my lesson. We will from now on be doing full-on contracts and make sure everything goes the way it's supposed to do. Some gigs I do have contracts and they just send them to me. I've been asked to send contracts, and that's something I can do too. I have contracts saved in my computer, but this one is just especially annoying because, like I said, I've known this guy for like 13, 14 years. So it's kind of like I just thought that I could actually trust you to do what it is you're supposed to do. But like I said, people will treat you the way you treat yourself. So if you're running around having these kind of loosey-goosey agreements with people, people are going to, at points, take advantage of that because they're like, well, if it's not serious to them, then it's not serious to me. And really, on these gigs that pay like this one, because this one is going to pay really well, in a lot of cases you get a deposit too. And so I was just trying to be kind of mom and pop, but really I need to start making sure I have these people paying me the way that they're supposed to pay me and doing contracts the way we're supposed to do contracts. And now I'm just kind of obsessed with my hair towards the end of this clip. I went ahead and did it today. I got to figure out how to put more volume up here, but I do like the way my hair came out as far as the way I curled it and stuff like that. These curls are a little bit tight, but you know, that would usually loosen up if I had done it earlier in the day instead of like at night before I went to do my show. Anyway, that's what's going on for me. Sorry to go on a tangent about my hair, but I hope everybody's doing well. This has been Ty Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world.